Hello everyone, Julia here, independent Stampin'UP demonstrator from Brisbane, Queensland. Today I just wanted to share with you the making of what I used as swaps for on stage last weekend. And I made these little cups, and I actually got the idea from a lady on YouTube called Linda Parker, and she did this cup in 2015. And she's also known as Papercraft with Crafty, and it was a very easy tutorial to watch, and I really loved her product. I've just changed a few things. I changed the handle to this broader one. I like the idea of it better, but apart from that, you know, like it's along the same lines, and I just think they're really cute. And what I did was I put a little coffee sachet and a little Kit Kat and a candy cane in each one of these. I just got to the center of that and folded it over, popped it in, and then popped them all into a cellophane bag with a bow on it. And that was one of my swaps. I did 3 different swaps on the weekend, so this was one of them. This one here is just in its initial stages, and I will finish that one later. And these are just a few different designs on it. This one my daughter did last night on our Facebook channel, and she chose her colours and the little snowflakes as well. And then this is the same as the one I did for on stage, and I also did this in cream, but I've now run out of that beautiful farmhouse paper, and so that I liked, so the Festive Farmhouse one, and so this time I'm using a different one from the Festive Farmhouse. But yeah, they're just 3 different ones. This one's done in real red, this one's in cherry cobbler, so the cherry cobbler is in that Festive Farmhouse, and so that's what I matched it up with. So I'll just leave those there so you can see them, and I'll get on with it. Now, I did use as the snowflake from the new Snowfall Thinlits, which are absolutely gorgeous. These are stunning. I love this huge one here, but I used this little one just here for this. So that's that one there. Hope you can see that. And as well as that, I used the sentiment from Snow is Glistening for You, and what I did with that is I just did it on a small piece of the Very Vanilla and put the For You on it there, so that it's on the handle of the cup, as if you know you're going to drink from it or something. I did accidentally do a few of them for on stage left-handed, because I am left-handed, but never mind. I think everybody still enjoyed them. So just that For You. And then what I've done with it is I've cut out a circle for here and for inside. I don't know if you can see down in there, but I've got one in the inside as well, and I just think that neatens it up and makes it look finished. So you might see it better in that one, if you can see it down there and on the bottom. So that's what I did with those, and I used the 3rd from the middle, so this one here, so that's 1, 2, 3 from the middle, and they're the ones, that's the one I used. Okay, so apart from that, we can get on with it. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock, and I'm doing it in Very Vanilla today, and that measures 8 inches by 5.5 inches, and then you're going to score that at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, 6 1/4, and 7 1/2. Okay, and then you're just going to turn it, and you're going to score it at 1 7/8, go. And I'm just having a mental blank here. 1 7/8, and where did I write that measurement down? Oh, there it is. And 4 3/8. Sorry about that. 4 3/8. Okay, that's it for the scoring. Okay, so next thing, just fold and burnish all of those. So I'll just quickly go through that. I did 3 different swaps for on stage. This was just one of them, but this one went over very well. I think everybody was keen to get the coffee too, but so there we are. Okay, done. Now, if I can find my snips that have disappeared, there they are. All I'm going to do is cut out this little rectangular piece here, just this one. So it's not the short one, it's the longer one on this end. So just going to cut that off there and off here. So that's fine. Just take that little piece out. Okay, now this is where you bring in the envelope punch board, which is just over here. My craft room's not quite back to order since on stage. By the time I had all my swaps ready to go, it was a bit of a disaster here. So what you do is on this short side here, you're going to just do your first fold, and then you're going to put this line here to the center of your punch board there. So you're just going to line it up in here in your punch board. So that's going to go directly into the center of that. And I'll just pull it out a bit and then punch your hole. Then fold it to the next one and do it. My daughter had a lot of trouble with this last night. It was actually quite funny because she just couldn't put the pressure on it to punch it because she couldn't get above it. She's got very, very thin wrists, so she's not very strong. So we had a bit of a laugh last night. And this one, so just do this all along. Sorry about the noise. There we go. And even this last little one, you still do that on the short end. And the easiest one, of course, is this one because it's only single width, so it's really easy. Okay, once you're done with that, you're going to get your scissors and you're going to cut up through here on that little end and across to the top of there, and you're taking out that piece there. You can see that just on that short end, and it matches up with that one. Okay, now you can put your decorations on at this point, your other paper and panels, so you would do them out here, but I don't do it until after I've actually put it together because I put a panel in under here as well, and I just like to get the handle on and everything before I start doing that, and it's just as easy to put the panels on after you've constructed the cup. So the next thing we need is some tear and tape. Now I'm just going to turn this around because being left-handed, I'm going to drag it the other way. Now on here, you're just going to go just below the top. You don't have to do it right on the top edge. So we're going to go like that, all the way across. And again, just below the edge. Oops, I'll just snip that off. I folded it over. Again just here. So I'm getting myself in a sticky mess here. Okay, and on there. And again, just below that fold line. Doesn't have to be right up on the line. Okay, and then we're going to cut that off as well. And then what I also like to do is to put it on here like that, but I also like to do it on the other side, just for security. It's up to you whether you do both sides, but I just I like it both sides. Once you've done that, just give them a good press down, just like that. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to snip up this fold on all of these, like that. Again, you can do this after. And the lady that I saw do this used some of this on there as well with tear and tape, but I actually use the glue. I like it to sort of stay solid. I think if you're putting something in there too, because the other thing you could do is do up a nice little cellophane bag of M&Ms or sweets or something and pop it inside the cup, and put a little bow on it that way, or you can put the whole thing into a bag and have a few things inside there as well. I mean, you could put some lovely homemade cookies in there in a little cellophane bag as well. I mean, you could do anything really, it's up to you. Okay, so we've got all those separated. We're at that point, and now I'm going to remove all of these. So I'll take all those off. I'm sure some of you have made these before. I know they've been around for a long time, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different for on stage. Okay, now this is the tricky bit. Turn it around like that, and then when you fold it over, start at this end where the tab is, and you can press it down to about there. Don't go any further, because what you're going to do is, as you shape it, you're going to put this tab into this end of it. So you're going to slide it in there, line that all up, and then press that down. So you've slid it into that gap between the two, and then you can press it down completely. Okay, and then all you can do is use your bone folder and just press down on all of that inside, and you've got your shape of your cup. So good way along, and then you just shape that to the hexagonal shape that it should be. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to just peel these out a little bit, and you get your first one, and these will naturally bend in. So put some glue on this tab up to where it starts to taper. So only up to where it starts to taper. So we're going to put it out here. Okay. But as soon as it starts to taper, don't go any further. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get the opposite one and sit it on top of that, and just hold it there till it takes. Now, I know tear and tape would be quicker, but I like the idea of having that little bit of extra wiggle room. Just as you can see, it's sliding because it's pulling on each other. and I'm just going to put a bit of pressure in underneath there. Whoops, it's going to come apart on me. All the others have gone perfectly fine, but I'm probably trying too hard. There we are. And once you've got that one, the rest will follow. And so I'll just give that a bit of a press down on the inside as well. And then we're going to get the others, but what I like to do, just a little dab of glue on there, and then do exactly the same. Glue on this part up to the taper, no further. Bring your other tab across, press it down, and hold. And then hand in underneath and just give it a bit of pressure. Sorry, I'll just pull that aside for a second so I can get the pressure on it. There we are. There we go. And see, I've got a little bit of room there to just slide that around a little bit if I'm not happy with it. And then our last one. Again, a little bit of glue. Just holds it in place, and glue on this bit on the tab, and over for our last one, like that. I just think if you miss with the tear and tape, then you've got to start peeling it apart and it can rip and tear, and I just sort of think with the glue you've got a much better chance of getting a good shape with it. Okay, once you've done that and you've cut out your circles, we just pop them on. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on my circles. And sit that on there in the middle so it looks nice and neat. Flip it over and press it down. And any of your glue comes in handy for this particular activity. And then I'm going to put some glue on this one. And just pop that down in there, and because it's got that wiggle room, it sits really nicely where you want it to. And again, press it down. And I'm just using my fine tip glue at the moment to do that. Okay, and there it is. It's all neat and tidy. Now, the handle. I have a piece that's 1/2 inch wide by 4 2/8 long. And what I wanted to do was just to start to bend this. Okay, so you just get a, just smooth it till it starts to take some shape. That way you're not going to crease it. And where you have joined the two pieces, where you put that tab in, is where I like to put this on. So I put about that much glue on there. So I'm covering a good probably half inch up again. And then I'm just going to sit it on there and just hold that for a minute. Try and get it as centered as you can. And then just hold it there till it takes. It doesn't take very long at all. There we go, and that's on there. Sorry, I don't have any fancy nail polish or anything on, and I have very short nails because I'm doing aged care, and we have to be very careful of the residents and things so that they don't get scratched or hurt. Okay, now the next bit, I'm just going to bring this handle down, and it's going to sit here between those two gaps there. So I'm going to put the glue on here. Make sure it's far enough up that you know it's going to hold well, because once this is on, it stays on really well. And again, I'm just going to hold that for a minute. And if you find that you've got just a little corner on there that you want to nip off, that's all right. It's only the smallest fraction, and that gives that lovely shape for your handle. And I'll just give that a good press from the inside and outside. Okay, that's basically there. Now, next thing, I really like this because it gives the taper by using the envelope punch board. I think that's a great idea. Now, the paper I chose today is this striped one from the Festive Farmhouse, because it's still got the cherry cobbler and the garden green in it. So all I'm going to do, oh, these are 1 1/8 of an inch by 1 7/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to put each of these panels on just below the top lip of the cup. And so that it's in line with the bottom there. So it just fits nicely on that panel before it starts to taper. Okay, and so I'm going to put those on the whole way around. And obviously it doesn't take very long to do. I think these would be nice little table markers too for Christmas, you know, like a little treat at each person's place setting, maybe with their name on them. I think that could be really cute. I mean, you can use any number of colours. These are Christmas ones, but, you know, I would love to do it with some of the really bright colours as well. Make it very summery for, say, here in Australia. And then use the beautiful hibiscus or some nice flowers on it. But I do love Christmas colours and traditions and things, so I do tend to lean that way. I was actually thinking, what would I do with this Festive Farmhouse paper? And then all of a sudden this sort of just occurred to me, and I thought, oh, that would be really good for it. And I loved this one here. It actually kind of reminds me of my old school uniform, my summer uniform, when I was very young. We're going back in the 60s for that, and it was all blues and had a few coloured threads through it and things. I'm sure a lot of you have had a uniform like that somewhere along the way. There we go. And this last two. I always fall back to Tombow. I really like using Tombow. I find it really good to use. I can straighten things up with it. Okay, now we're getting to the bit where I've put the handle on. So you'll notice I didn't glue up past the bottom of there, because I'm going to slide this in behind and over the handle, and that will help secure the top of the handle as well. So I'm going to slide that in there and put it over there. And that just gives that a little bit extra security on the handle and makes it nice and strong. Okay, so there's our little cup. Now you could either put some glitter on here if you wanted to. I have decided to use cherry cobbler snowflakes, but you could use glimmer paper, whatever you like. Choice is yours. And then I just grabbed a pair of tweezers that I had lying around actually, and oh, went crazy there. That came out with a gusto. And I just put a dab on the tip just so it doesn't raise when you put it on. Doesn't need to be smothered in it. And then center that about there and press it down. And just remember, if you do use glimmer paper like I did on this one, you have to be just a little bit more patient in gluing down the snowflakes, because the air pockets in the glimmer paper just need time to take up the glue and have it stay nice and stuck to it, otherwise it will lift. So just make sure you've got the patience with that. It doesn't take long, but it's worthwhile. Now you could use your fine tip glue pen as well, but I just find, well, this dries anyway very quickly and there's none oozing out from that one. So, and then try and eyeball it so that you line up with the other one that you've just put on as well. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but there we go. Only got a couple to go now. Becky chose the glimmer paper to put on last night, and I went with the cherry cobbler again like I did for on stage. And I had some of these and some of these in the very vanilla and the cherry cobbler. So, whoops. Okay, I'll just hold that one and pop it on. There we go. I did give everyone a bit of variety this year. Had all sorts of things there. I'll do the card next week that I did, which is totally different to this. It's bright and pretty, but Christmassy. I had one lady on stage actually swap with me 3 times. I didn't realise she had, because I had 3 different things there. And she came and she caught me and ended up swapping 3 times with me. There we go, one over here. Like I say, it's very easy to do this once the cup is made. So I just find it's easier to put the panel on, especially under the handle, once you've actually created the cup shape. There we go. One more there. Do that one. And one in underneath. I actually like to do one in underneath. I think it just finishes it off to have them everywhere. I notice on some cups people don't do that, but I like to have it finished. There we are, and pop that one in there. Oops, just to finish that one off. Just give them a press down. Use the bone folder so my fingers aren't sticking to it. Not that there seems to be much glue left over. There we are. So the only thing now is to put on our little sentiment, and I had a piece here. I think that one is 1/2 inch. Just double check. Yep, seems to be close enough. So I'm going to do that in cherry cobbler. When I got this stamp pad, it leaked everywhere. I don't know why. None of my others have, but well, I tell a lie there. One other did, Pool Party did. But I have many others that have never done it. I'm sure I had another piece of this somewhere that was wider. Oh, this will do for the moment. And I'll just pop that on there for you. Okay, I'll just shut the pink up. That's one I did on white. I don't want it on white. A little bit narrower than what I wanted. I was really sure I had cut a piece that was the right width. Hang on, this might work. Sorry to hold you up there. I'll try this one. Do one on here as well. Okay. Here we are. And then I'm just going to cut that off about there. And again, just going to gently mold that to the shape of my finger, really, so that when I put it on the handle, it doesn't want to spring back. It'll stick well to the handle. Okay, so a bit of glue on the back of this. Making sure you've got it at the ends. And sit it up there and curve it over the handle. And then it's just a matter of holding it there for a second until it stays. And because you've put that shape into it, it sticks down so much easier than if you try and put it on straight without moulding it. There we are. And I've done a left-handed cup as I do. And there it is. There's your little cup. Sentiment on there, all nicely finished off, ready to put some sweets or cookies or anything you want into. All different designs. Do them different colours, anything you like. And they come up a treat, and they're very popular. So Christmas tables, anything. I hope you've enjoyed this. And I do thank Linda Parker again, because that was great to find her tutorial and be able to sort of do a bit of fiddling with it and various things, and for it to turn out like this. So thank you everyone for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications so you know I do a video every week. I generally do it on Facebook with my daughter, which is a bit crazy, and then I go onto YouTube and do one especially just for people who just want to watch the tutorial. Okay, and if you do not have a demonstrator, I'd be very much happy to help you out in any way I can. My link to my store is below, and my link to my Facebook page. And if you have any questions, please ask them, and I'll do everything I can to find out the answer if I don't know. Anyway, until next week, have a wonderful week. I hope your week goes particularly well, and I'll be back next week with something new. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.